charge of conspiracy to commit a violent crime in aid of racketeering, resulting in serious body injury. Conspiracy, that's when you talk. God, this is bringing back memories of law school. That's when, the chain of command and there's more than one. He's also found guilty of a third charge of concealing documents related to a federal investigation, which, honey, don't mess with the feds. Don't mess with the feds. Facing up to 43 years. It's going to be interesting to see how the sentencing comes down on this. And the FBI person involved in this has said, we hope that the victims, Dave and Dina, move on and forget Manzo and his mafia bedfellows. Ouch. I mean, look, this is why, Dina. I mean, I'm over there in LA when I'm on the West Coast. I mean, Catalina, where Dina lives. I mean, first of all, have you all seen the house? It is gorgeous. I think they paid like 13 million. He has money. I mean, Dina ain't coming back to hang out with these animals. And these are animals in New Jersey, animals. The state gets a really bad reputation. It really does. I have a lot of really nice friends in New Jersey, right? If they recast RHONJ, if we have time, we'll talk about that here today. If they recast it, man, I tell you, they are going to go through that casting process like nobody's business. And they are going to find off the wall women, housewives. They always do, but not toxic. It ain't getting toxic again. State gets a bad rap. So, and basically he met up. How this happened is Perna met up with Cantin in a strip mall and worked him over with a slapjack. I don't even know what a slapjack is. I imagine it's like a club. You like take it to the knees. Man. And by the way, Perna always plead. Look at that Jen Shaw. Look how everyone turned on her. You always plead. You always plead. So Perna himself, who actually did the actual knocking of the knees or whatever he did, he pled guilty to committing a violent crime and racketeering. He got 3 years. So he's already served his time. 3 years versus 43. Plead. Guys, plead. Turn everybody in when the shit is closing in on you. So a little bit shocked. I mean, Dina is living her best life. This is why apparently she's quote unquote not interested in coming back to New Jersey, not interested in going to Teresa's wedding, not friends with Teresa anymore. We all know the real reasons. That's because Dave woke up one day when they were on vacation and allegedly saw some shady business dealings of Louis. That's the rumor about why they don't speak anymore. But they don't speak. It's over. Another friend lost for Teresa. Hey, Teresa. Hey, girl. Lots of friends walk out on my life too. So, girl, it's okay. Just have yourself. And those you only need, the older you get, the smaller your circle gets. Most of us could count on one hand our real friends. Maybe 2 hands for me and many of us. Andy Cohen is now speaking out. I will cover this on Patreon. We do a deep dive of RHONJ on Patreon. He's speaking out and saying that the finale of RHONJ feels complete. I will go into this in extreme detail on Patreon, but I call bullshit. I mean, doesn't every finale feel complete? And let's face it, we've had many New Jersey finales. We've had a Vanderpump Rules finale, which felt beyond complete. It felt like a series completion. And yet we had 3 parts to a reunion plus secret scenes. They don't even do a 3-part reunion. You remember Beverly Hills and remember Jersey back in the day, New York? 3 parts plus secret scenes. We get 4 million more views out of that. So bullshit. I don't believe. Andy said that like 10 producers watched the finale independently, and all 10. You mean to tell me all 10, there's no hung jury. All 10 of you agreed, like adjudicating a criminal case where it's like guilty or not guilty. And there's not one person that is the person that will not vote with the rest of you. And you have to sway that person or you're not going home. You mean to tell, and then you have a hung jury. You mean to tell me, and that's what happens. You have all the guilties, you have one not guilty, you ain't going home. You all got to reach unanimous decision. You mean to tell me that everybody unanimously agreed and said, okay, we don't need a reunion. I just call bullshit on this. we would have a reunion if the ratings were better. By the way, because y'all think I'm so negative, the ratings did go up this past weekend. A lot of you huggers, the tree huggers, a lot of you are saying, well, we had more Teresa this episode. More Teresa, the ratings go up. I don't know. Are you guys onto something? Because that's what's now going around. You guys are putting that out there. The ratings did go up from like 6 something to like 7 something. I think they went up like 100,000. And the huggers, you guys are saying, I mean, look, you might have a point. I don't know. But you guys are saying more Teresa in the episode, more ratings. It's very simple. Look what happens when Teresa's on the screen. You might be onto something, but the ratings did go up a little bit this past week, guys. So on Patreon, I'm going to talk about my plans for the future of RHONJ, how, whether I think it's a total reboot, or I'm going to talk on Patreon this Saturday about whether I think we're going to go the Atlanta route and keep like 2 kind of OG types. I don't know. But I've got some thoughts. Hey, are you guys excited? Everyone's complaining the heyday of Bravo is over, Housewives is over. I agree. I think it's the beginning of the end. Thank God we cover many other things on this podcast. It never were 100% a Housewives podcast, nor will we ever be. So it can end. I'm not going anywhere. This show is very stable. But on that note, everyone, I'm kind of excited. I bet you this is going to cause a mixed reaction too. I'm excited for the Baldwins. I'm sorry. Alec Baldwin, Oscar nominee. Look, how do I think this show got greenlit? I think Hilaria wants to be as famous as possible. So, I mean, she nags the 30-year-old her husband enough, and here we are. I actually think they're happy together, believe it or not. But I mean, Alec Baldwin's trial is going to start, for pulling the gun. Someone is dead. And I assume that, Alec Baldwin cannot get insured on movies these days, and there's no work. Like, I go to a lot of these celebrity conventions with the 80s and 90s, like, when someone is not there, well, first of all, I mean, even people that have a ton of money go, but when you have like, I don't think we'll ever see Courtney Cox. I mean, like we have Nev Campbell, David Arquette, we have a lot of people from Scream. You're not going to see Cox or Aniston. I mean, they make $20 million a year just on residuals. So the other people I'm not saying are starving to death, although some of them are, but I mean, to me, this is like Alec Baldwin is not getting insured on movies, and I'm sure he got a shitload of money. Was there a bidding war? I don't know. It's ending up on TLC, where our very Sarah likes to cover things. I'm going to be covering the show. Slip into my DMs, slip into the comments below. Is anyone excited for the Baldwins? It's Alec and his wife and the 7 kids. First of all, I mean, how old is Alec Baldwin? Like 60 or late 50s to have 7 small kids. And I have always said this. I like Alec Baldwin because I have seen Alec Baldwin many times on the streets of New York.